Yo, guys, your boy Chris here. Welcome back to another video. And today we'll be breaking down UFC Vegas 119 Kape versus Horiguchi. Surprisingly good card. A lot of pick'ems on this one, but there's also quite a bit of favorites. Two fights that really should be on Contender Series. I have no idea why the first two fights are not on the Dana White Contender Series. Especially the Shabazian one seems kind of like a Dana White Contender Series fight, mainly because one of them is gonna win and one of them's definitely gonna lose. So it just makes sense to be on Dana White Contender Series. The other one's a little bit more competitive, but whatever. Let's get into it with Shane Collins versus Otari Tenzilov. Shane Collins gonna win. Shane Collins is pretty much better everywhere. He's a pressure boxer, very aggressive, keeps coming forwards. He doesn't, he overwhelms you. He has really good cardio. He can push a pace for 15 minutes. He does leave quite a bit of openings when he's coming forwards due to how aggressive he is. He leaves a lot of openings. He could get clipped. But Otari is not that one-shot knockout guy, and that's kind of what you need to beat Shane Collins. Shane Collins has been hurt. He's been put down, and then he recovered, and he came back to win that fight later on. He's a good fighter. He's a very high-level striker. So is Otari, but Otari is more of like a Melquiz Acosta kicker. He just spams body kicks, spam head kicks. His body kicks are devastating. Really clean body kick. He hurts a lot of people with that. He's good at he has good footwork. He has decent jiu-jitsu. He's an all-around good fighter, but I think Shane Collins is aggressive striking. I think the only way Otari will win this is if Shane Collins accepts being on the back foot, which I don't see. And one of my biggest problems with Otari is that he's overly okay with being put on his back foot. Like, he will not implement himself into this fight. He will settle on the back foot, just throwing his kicks out, not being the aggressor at all. And that's just not going to look good on the scorecards. I think he's durable enough to survive a decision. I think, the UFC debut jitters will get to both of them a little bit. I don't think either of them will get a finish. Shane Collins is gonna be the winner, I think. I think the pressure is gonna be a lot for Otari to handle. And yeah, I don't really see a path to victory because Shane has really good wrestling defense all around. He has pretty well-timed takedowns himself. He doesn't utilize his wrestling too often, but I just don't think Otari will be able to take him down too often, and if he does, I think he'll get popped right back up, and I think the pressure is going to be too much. I think Shane Collins by decision. On to Levan Chokalov versus Edmund Shabazian's brother, Leon Shabazian. When I first saw this fight announced, my immediate reaction was, okay, Leon Shabazian's going to win, because he has a brother in the UFC. Then I looked up the odds, and it's like minus 500 for Shakeli. And then I looked at the tape, and Jesus Christ, Leon Shabazian is fucking stupid. I watched a fight where he chinned this fighter, followed up with a bunch of ground and pound, had this dude's head pinging off the fucking mat. The fight was about to be stopped, and for some reason, he did a mounted guillotine for no reason. This dude is obsessed with the front chokes. He will jump ghillie. He will put himself in horrendous positions constantly. I guarantee he will go for at least 3 fucking guillotines in this match. He's the ghillie king. It's like Dustin Poirier. All he does is go for guillotines, no matter the position. He will find it somehow. And he has a devastating guillotine choke, but it just doesn't work half the time. He has other submissions. He has good submissions off the back. He has some arm bars. He has some triangle chokes. But he's just way too open on the feet. His striking is very minimal. He's not very strong. He kind of gets pushed around the octagon, and he's really hittable. He walks forwards and just wings wild punches, chin super high in the air. And Lee Van, he's good. He was a Bellator can crusher. One of his losses are to Lorenz Lorkin, who's actually pretty decent. Chikoli's really good. I think he's pretty high level. His boxing is incredible. He has really good footwork, great head movement. He's fairly hittable, but he has really good takedown defense. He gets right back up. He has good cardio. And I think this is going to be a first round knockout for Chikoli. I think it's going to be an easy fight. I think Shabazian's not a UFC level caliber fighter. And I don't know why this fight's not on Dana White Contender Series. But this is an easy fight for Chikoli. So I'm going to go with that first round KO. First or second round. Because Shabazian has shown some, he will put up a fight. On to the first women's fight of the evening. Luana Santos versus Carla Rosa. I don't know. I watched the tape. Usually I try my best to watch 3 or 4 fights from each fighter. I just Googled Carla Rosa pros and cons, and I Googled Luana Santos pros and cons. I didn't watch any tape for this fight. I'm never going to watch tape for a women's fight unless it's a championship or a number 1 Contender Series fight. And I'm not going to start now. So I'm going to go Luana Santos by decision. From what I read and from what I've watched on previous UFC events, I think Luana's wrestling is going to be the difference in this fight. I think Rosa has good BJJ, but I think the wrestling and the BJJ combination from Santos is going to be a little bit too much for Rosa to handle. I think Rosa will be held down for a majority of this fight. And Rosa has really good volume. She's very pressure heavy, and I think that will result in takedowns. I think she'll get taken down. I think this will be a really boring, smudgy fight, and I'm going to go Luana Santos decision. Just don't bet on that fight. I think Carla Rosa is the favorite in that fight. I don't know why. Again, this whole week I've been thinking about Black Ops 2 coming out on PlayStation. I'm very excited for that, so that's kind of what's on my mind. I'm not watching this fight. I'm not watching Carla Rosa or Luana Santos tape while I could be thinking of videos to make on that game. Moving on to Gaston Bolanos versus Michael Aswell Jr. The first couple fights on this card is going to be hard to come through. The first 4 fights, the only fight I'm looking forward to is Shane Collins. Michael Aswell, Gaston Bolanos. I have no idea why Michael Aswell Jr. is a minus 300 favorite. Michael Aswell Jr. is just going to kind of put a pace on Bolanos and just gritty decision himself through a fight and probably win a decision here. Bolanos has a lot more weapons. He can definitely win this fight, but a lot of Bolanos wins are by KO, and from what I've seen, Michael Aswell Jr. is impossible to KO. So I think the first round's probably going to go Bolaños' way, and then Michael Aswell's just going to he's going to impose himself onto Bolaños, just grind out a gritty boxing decision. There's not much to break down here. On to the 5th fight of the evening. Alan Nascimento versus Mitch Raposa. I have no idea why he's not even a 2-1 favorite. Why is Nascimento not a minus 300 favorite against Mitch Raposa? Mitch Raposa's fucking ass. He's not good. He robbed one fighter. I think he's 1-2 in the UFC. All of his fights are really close, but all of his fights he's lost clearly, if that makes sense. You can have a close fight and still lose clearly. He doesn't do enough to win in any of his fights. He's not very good at striking. He doesn't really shoot for too many takedowns. He's just all around like a can. I don't get why this fight odds are so close. Nascimento's should be in the rankings of flyweight. He's an incredible jiu-jitsu fighter. He has incredible jiu-jitsu. His leg kicks are whipping. He has pretty good kicks. He's really improved his striking as of recent. That Cody Durden fight showed a lot of his striking. He's much cleaner on the feet. He has good boxing now. His kicking game is really good. But his jiu-jitsu, that's his bread and butter. And his shit's just nasty, bro. He can find submissions from anywhere. Great transitions, phenomenal submissions, as I just stated. Transitions, ground and pound. He's not really a ground and pound type of guy. He's more of a, smudge you to a decision type jiu-jitsu unless he can't find the submission. But I see Nascimento using his length on the feet, keeping Mitch at range, and then Mitch probably will shoot a takedown, get gillied, and lose his fight. I'm definitely going Nascimento by decision, or by submission or decision. I don't see Raposo getting chinned by Nascimento. I think Raposo does have a good chin. I don't think Raposo has a chance in this fight. Maybe I'm not seeing what everyone else is seeing. Because I broke down this fight, when it was originally booked 2 months ago, I think. So maybe I didn't watch enough tape on Mitch Raposo, and I'm really underestimating him. But I think Alan Nascimento should be in the top 15 in flyweight. I think this will be an easy fight for Nascimento. I think he's a step above Raposo. And yeah, that's it. This is really an easy card to predict, in my opinion. Every card I say that, I go 9 and fucking 8. I said that about the UFC White House card. And I went, oh fuck, I dropped my headphone. I went 5 and 2. I thought that was going to be the card that I would go flawless on. But it wasn't. This is not betting advice. Please don't ever bet on my fucking picks. I'm terrible at picking. But I think Nascimento's going to win. I think he's going to have an easy win. I think he's better on the feet, and I think he's much, much better at jiu-jitsu. The only thing that I can say Mitch Raposo is better at is the wrestling. I mean, obviously, Mitch Raposo has a background in grappling, I believe. Or in wrestling, not grappling. But I think Raposo is just going to... I think this is going to be a domination from Nascimento. Moving on to Bia Mezquita versus Melissa Mullins. This is not even going to be a 2-minute breakdown. Mezquita, or I'm just going to call her Bia because her last name, I don't want to keep saying it wrong. She's fucking so good. I think she wins this in the first round. First or second round submission. Melissa, fucking hell, that stutter. Jesus. Melissa Mullins is decent. She's like a lower level women's fighter, but she's above the Haley Cowens. Damn, I pulled that fucking name out of my ass, bro. I can't even think about what weight class, who the fuck that is. I think she got chinned by Alan Perez. Is it Alice Perez? Alice Pereira? I don't fucking know anymore. Mezquita is incredibly good. She's one of the greatest women's jiu-jitsu fighters of all time, I believe. She's one of the most decorated jiu-jitsu practitioners of all time, and it shows. Once she gets on the ground, no one knows what to do. She finds whatever she wants incredibly quickly. She will probably get the back of Melissa Mullins, get mount on the back, start raining down ground and pound. Melissa Mullins will try and scramble and get her neck taken. That's what I see. And, the main complaint about Bia's game was her striking. She was slow on the feet. She didn't know how to strike, and she was getting clipped badly in most of her fights. But she would eventually get the fight to the ground and win. That was her early fights. But her last fight, she chinned the girl. The girl hit the ground, and then Bia got the submission. I think she does this here. I don't think she chins Melissa Mullins. Melissa Mullins has a pretty good chin. And again, she is pretty high level, but I think the wrestling discrepancy, I think the jiu-jitsu discrepancy is going to be way too much. I think Bia is top level. I think she could be in the top 7 of the division, even though that's not saying much for the women's division. I think Bia wins this one incredibly easily. I think first or second round submission. So yeah, I flew through these bottom 6 fights. Usually my breakdown's 15 minutes. I am halfway through and I'm at 15 minutes. And I'm going to go through another quick prediction. Murtazali Magomed debuting. He had a really good performance on the Dana White Contender Series versus Melsik Bagdarsarian. Bagdarsarian, I believe, has lost to Gene Silva. I think Gene Silva, it was that clip of Gene Silva knocking someone down and then the ref not stopping and him just getting his body destroyed by Gene Silva afterwards. I think this is that dude. I don't remember him having a great performance in that fight. I didn't watch that fight. Again, a lot of these people, I don't go on those websites where you can find UFC fights because there's too many ads and a lot of the fights aren't there. So I pretty much just watch highlights and like older fights. Like some older fights on YouTube or like the ones that the UFC Brazil or European channels upload. I watch those, but I can't watch the more recent fights. So the Gene Silva fight I didn't watch, but I did watch it live, and he just kind of got dominated in that fight. But in the fights I did watch, Melsek, he's an incredibly good kickboxer. His kicks are whipping. He has pretty good hands. He's incredibly fast, really sharp on the feet, very technical. But I think Magomed, but again, Bagdasarian's biggest weakness is the grappling. He's been grapple fucked multiple times. Once he gets taken down, he doesn't really have much off his back. He can't really get up. He either gets smudged or fucking hammered into the ground, or they find a submission. On the feet, he's very dangerous. He's very technical. He keeps range really well, and if you close distance, he does have an inside game. So he's all around. He is a pretty good fighter, but he's not really a UFC fighter. He's a kickboxer. So whenever he gets grappled, he gets kind of fucked. Magomed has both. Magomed is very talented on the feet. He has great kickboxing. His boxing is his bread and butter. He has really good power, really good chin, really fast, great timing. And then he has the wrestling to fall back on, and his wrestling's 1 to none. He can hold you down. He can find a submission. His grounded pound's pretty brutal. Yeah, he finds that body lock really easily, and he just drags his opponents down. And I think he'll do this. I think Melsek will be winning the first round. I think this goes over 1.5. I think this goes to like round 2 or 3. But I think eventually Magomed will start landing his punches, start getting into that fluid motion, and then he'll probably duck under a punch, get the takedown, bring down Bagdasarian, and find the submission. I think Magomed is way too prepared. I think he has way too many weapons in this fight. I think Melsek will not be able to keep distance for all 15 minutes, and I think eventually he will be dragged down, and the submission will just be there for the taking. On to Andre Lima, the dude that got bit, versus Kevin Borjas. Kevin Borjas is really good. He's kind of really good, but he can't win a fight. I don't know. He can't put it all together. And he always crumbles in the final rounds and loses a decision. Or, I mean, I was going to say he gets flatlined, but he actually didn't get flatlined until his last fight. I think it's Kevin Borjas who fought Emmanuel Rodriguez and chinned him nearly, and then got chinned himself. Borjas, I'm not really going to break down Borjas. He's a gatekeeper. I think Lima will destroy him in this fight. Borjas has shown that he's incredibly durable. He has pretty good kickboxing, whipping kicks. He's lightning fast. He has no pop in his punches, though. And he just cruises to a decision. He doesn't really push a pace. He will fight off his back foot for the majority of the fight. He will kind of let himself lose. While Andre Lima his output is incredible. His cardio is incredible. He doesn't really have one-shot power, but he gets a lot of TKOs. He overwhelms his opponents. He's an incredible striker, like incredibly high level. He mixes to the body really well. His combinations are so fluid. It's nasty. It's like watching Joshua Van strike. It really is. That's how good of a boxer he is, and it's like he can put it all together so fluidly. It's phenomenal. It's a really beautiful fight to see. Him versus, who did he fight last? I think it was Daniel Perez. he just crumbled Daniel Perez, and I think he found the late round submission. So that shows another wrinkle in Lima's game. Lima has the submission. He's more of an opportunist submissions. Like if you leave it there to be got, he will get it. But he's not going to take you down and look for it. He will stand and strike. He does have some wrestling, but he rarely utilizes it. And I don't think he'll be able to finish Borjas, because Borjas deals with pressure pretty well. He can circle the cage pretty well. But I think Lima is going to hunt for the finish, but I don't think he can find it, because he doesn't really have power. Like you'll see in most of his fights, he fucks up his opponents. His opponents are bleeding, but they're not really fazed by any of his punches. I mean, he was on the way to win that fight against the dude that bit him. I think we get a dominant 30-26, 20-37 decision for Lima here. On to the hardest, or second hardest fight to decide on this entire card. Hyder Emil versus Christian Rodriguez. I see a lot of people going with the favorite of Christian Rodriguez. I don't know why people are hating on Hyder Emil. Hyder Emil beat William Gomez, who is someone that people hold very highly in the division. Yes, he got chinned by Delgado. He lost to Jamal Emmers. But he had a really good first round against Jamal Emmers. I think the pace and pressure of Hyder Emil is going to be way too much for Christian Rodriguez to handle. I think Christian Rodriguez is really good at stalling out a fight, and he's very opportunistic, and he's very well-rounded. Christian Rodriguez doesn't dominate a fighter. He ekes out a win. He eked out a win against Austin Bashi. He did kind of dominate Raul Rosas Jr., and he lost to Mel Quiziel Costa. I mean, he's good. He is good, and I'm not taking that away from him. But I think Hyder Emil's boxing, I think on the feet, I think Hyder Emil will really fuck up Christian Rodriguez, especially in the pocket. And I think Hyder Emil will be able to close that distance and piece up Christian Rodriguez. And yes, Christian Rodriguez definitely has the wrestling advantage. But if you've seen any of Hyder Emil's wrestling clips, he is so aggressive to get back up on his feet that it's really hard to hold him down. His cardio is insane. The pace he pushes on people will gas out anyone. And Christian Rodriguez does not have the best cardio. So I think Emil will be able to push that pace. I think he'll be able to eke out rounds with the more significant power punches. Because, again, Christian Rodriguez does not have that one-shot power. So I think the power punches and the more significant punches are going to lean towards Emil. I think the pressure is going to lean towards Emil. The volume's definitely going to be on Rodriguez, but I think the moments are going to win the fight, and I think the moments are going to go to Emil. So I'm going to go Emil, either late rounds TKO or decision. I'm leaning decision. Moving on to Vinicius Oliveira versus Andre Fili. I believe Andre Fili is filling in on short notice, and I believe this is at 145. Yeah, it is at 145. So this is a new weight class for Oliveira. After that devastating loss to Mario Bautista at bantamweight, he moved up because he couldn't cut the weight. So I think we see an improved version of Vinicius Oliveira. Everyone who's ever watched Vinicius Oliveira fights has known he gasses out terribly in the second and third round, but he usually ekes out the second round and he loses the third round. That's usually what happens. But I think not having to cut that much weight, I think it will really improve his gas tank. And I think he wins this one either by finish or decision. Vinicius is very good. He was a ranked bantamweight, which is one of the most competitive divisions in the UFC. So I don't think it's a skill issue. Andre Fili's old. I think he's 40 years old now. Yes, he had a really competitive fight against Jose Delgado, which I believe he did, in fact, lose that fight pretty clearly. I don't see what Andre Fili can bring to the table that will really stifle Vinicius Oliveira. I don't see Andre Fili running a wrestling clinic on Vinicius. And on the feet, I think Vinicius will land the much, much more powerful shots. He will land probably the more volume, And yes, Andre Philly has more wrinkles in his game than Oliveira, I believe. But I think the short notice, too, I think it's only like a 2 week he stepped in on 2 weeks notice. So he didn't get a full training camp in. His cardio might not be there fully. I think the aggressiveness, the forwards pressure, and the power are all leaning on Oliveira, and I think Oliveira wins the decision here. But I would not have Vinicius at a minus 300. I think that's a horrendous decision. Judging off his last performance, I'd have this at maybe a minus 200 to Oliveira. But Philly is good. Philly has really clean boxing. He has a good submission game. He does have decent grappling. He's crafty. He's fairly durable. And I think he really could give Oliveira problems, but I don't see him overwhelming Oliveira, and I definitely don't see him finishing Oliveira. So I think Oliveira will get that decision. Moving on to the co-main event. Ion Cutelaba versus Navajo Sterling. Ion Cutelaba, he's on a bit of a win streak. He beat, who'd he beat? Umoy Sai, who should be cut from the UFC, and he probably is good. Alright, dickhead, keep jiving. Yeah, I think he did get cut from the UFC. And he beat someone beforehand. I think, who is it? Ibo Aslan? I don't know, he's on a 2-fight win streak. Cutelaba's very crafty. He's a pretty good striker, and he has good guillotines. And he's really hard to wrestle and hold down. But we've seen when he goes against someone that's very technical, that can keep him at bay, can keep his like brawler mentality out of the fight, and can kind of cruise through a fight without having to really struggle. We've seen him lose a decision, or we've seen him get chinned. And he is very chinny. In his recent fight, he always gets hurt. He gets hurt a lot on his fights. Very concerning. I don't see Cutelaba really wrestling too heavily in this fight, even though he does have really good wrestling. Not really good. I'd say above average wrestling. And yes, we've seen Sterling really struggle against wrestlers. We saw a tired Turco Tukos take him down twice and nearly get a guillotine on him. So we have seen Sterling struggle against wrestlers, but I don't think this will be a problem, because we've seen Navajo navigate wrestlers before. He can kind of just stall out wrestlers. He can keep them at bay. He can keep them at distance and just pick them apart. And in a fight where it's at distance, I'm picking Navajo, and I'm picking Navajo to win by decision here. I think Navajo is the more talented striker. I think the grappling is not going to be too much of a factor in this fight. I think he'll be able to stuff the takedowns that Cutelaba throws his way. And on the feet, I don't see Navajo struggling to keep Cutelaba at bay. I think the jab of Sterling is going to give Cutelaba the problems. The straight punches, the leg kicks, the body kicks. I think Sterling has really good kickboxing. He trains at City Kickboxing with Izzy, Alberg, and all those guys. So he's very technical. He's very clean. He doesn't have finishing power. He doesn't push for a finish. He doesn't take too many risks in a fight. And I don't think he's going to find the finish here. I think Cutelaba will probably win a round. He'll probably win the third round. Navajo doesn't really gas out, but he does tend to kind of cruise a bit. And I think with the hard-working mentality of Cutelaba, the one that will like try very hard, will push a pace, I think he'll eke out a round. And I think if Cutelaba lands, it's going to be a very powerful shot. But I think the volume and the accuracy of Sterling is going to give Cutelaba too many issues. It's going to be a riddle that he can't solve. And I think Sterling wins the decision. And I'm fairly confident in that. I think when I checked the odds yesterday or today, it was like minus 200 for Sterling. And I think that's the right. I mean, it is a massive jump up from Bruno Lopez. Was it Bruno Lopez? I think it was Ozzy Diaz. Was it Ozzy Diaz? Who was it that he fought? Hold on, I'm going to pause this and check. Alright, yeah, he did in fact chin Bruno Lopez in the second round. Got his first ever finish. But he beat Bellato. He beat Rodolfo Bellato, which is a pretty good win. I mean, I think Bellato will give Cutelaba a lot of problems and could probably win a fight against Cutelaba. So I think that's going to be my decision. I think it was a plus 250 decision for Sterling on DraftKings, and like a plus 110 KO. I mean, I don't see Sterling really KOing him. Again, he's only KO'd Bruno Lopez in the UFC, and they have handed him pretty much all cans, besides Bellato. So, that's my pick. I think that one's pretty easy to pick. I think so far I'd be flawless. The only fights that I'm really concerned about are the Hyder Emil and the Rosa Santos fight, because I didn't do tape on that one. But Hyder Emil, I think he still got it. I think he's a little gun shy after that KO, but I think I'll get that one right. Moving on to by far the most exciting fight of the evening. Manel Kape versus Kyoji Horiguchi. I'm going with Kyoji. I think Horiguchi's really good. And I think this is the first time that we can say this. I think Kape's going to be at a speed disadvantage in this fight. I think the experience of Horiguchi is really going to play a part in this fight. And the fact that Horiguchi already has a win over Manel Kape. Yes, it was a back and forth fight in that one. But something I noticed when watching that fight. The wrestling of Horiguchi gives Kape a lot of problems. He found a late round submission. I think it was round 4 submission against Kape. I don't see that one happening. They both improved massively. It was, again, Kape was younger. Kape was, probably mid-20s when that happened. How old is he now? 32? It happened in 2017. So he was like 22 years old almost. 23 years old in that fight. He's improved a lot. Kape has incredible power. He has lightning fast reaction speed, lightning fast hands, incredible kicks, incredible footwork, incredible head movement, very aggressive. He's just he aura for him so much. His striking is next level, and his speed is a big part of his game. And I think Horiguchi's style, his bouncy karate style, where he blitzes in and blitzes out, his lightning fast hands, his incredible reaction time, his pretty sound defense, and the fact that he has that wrestling pedigree, and that he can take you down, he can ground and pound you, he can hold you down, he can submit you. And in that fight against Kape in 2017, Kape had a lot of problems with his kicks. Kape would throw a kick, and Horiguchi would time a punch. Horiguchi's timing is impeccable. And he would time a punch, and he would knock down Manel Kape. That fight had multiple knockdowns from Horiguchi, and Horiguchi does not have knockdowns very often. He's much more of a overwhelm you type fighter, or a decision merchant. Mainly a decision merchant. He doesn't really overwhelm you with volume. He's very accurate, great striking, and his speed is a big part of his game. And I think he's faster than Manel Kape. And I think the karate style where he'll dart in and out will be a lot for Manel Kape to handle. Yes, Manel Kape could time a punch and chin Horiguchi. We've seen Horiguchi get laid out. I think he got chinned by Kaya Asakura, if I'm not wrong. We've seen Horiguchi get chinned. So it is a possibility. With how powerful Manel Kape is for the flyweight division, very possible he chins Horiguchi. But I think the movement of Horiguchi is going to be way too much. And I think he will take down Kape, and I think he'll hold him. I don't think we'll get a finish this fight. I think Horiguchi's much more okay with going to decision than Manel Kape. I think if Manel Kape wins, I think he'll probably get a TKO. And I think Horiguchi's either going to be a submission or a decision. I'm leaning decision, since I think the wrestling will play a part, but I don't think it will play the biggest part. I think the timing of Horiguchi, I think he'll be able to time the punches. I think he will be able to kind of evade Manel Kape for the majority of this fight. I think he'll be slicker on the feet. I think the first round will kind of dictate this fight. I think the winner of the first round will win this fight. If Horiguchi can go out there and kind of stun lock Kape, Horiguchi wins. And if Kape comes out strong, landing his punches, I think Kape wins. But I'm leaning Horiguchi. I think Horiguchi's experience, I think the competition he's fought will really give him an edge. The best fighter Manel Kape has fought is Brendan Royval, and the best fighter Kyoji Horiguchi has fought is Demetrius Johnson. So, you know, a bit of a competition gap there. There's a raccoon staring directly at me right now. I took a quick video of the raccoon. He's now left. Again, I'm filming this outside because I do not have a mic on my PC. That's why you hear cars in the background. It is currently 3 a.m. So yeah, I'm going to go Horiguchi by decision. If you guys disagree with my picks, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye.